In 2025, Americans can't stop praising Malaysia, and it's not just because of the food or the beaches. It's because Malaysia has quietly become everything people in the West are looking for but can't find at home: safety, stability, affordability, and opportunity. What shocks many Americans is how Malaysia has built real progress without losing its heart. They see a country that's modern, clean, and connected, yet proud of its roots. Malaysia feels organized, peaceful, and full of potential, while so many parts of the world feel chaotic and uncertain. Economically, Americans are noticing Malaysia for the right reasons. The country kept inflation under control when many others were struggling. Its ringgit may have its ups and downs, but Malaysia's real strength is stability. Factories are moving in, tech companies are investing, and the middle class is expanding. Malaysia is quietly becoming a regional manufacturing and tech powerhouse. Americans look at the steady job creation, the growing export numbers, and the strong focus on green technology, and they're impressed. Malaysia has learned how to play the global game without becoming dependent on any single superpower. Another reason for the praise is how easy Malaysia makes life. Americans visiting Kuala Lumpur or Penang often say, "It just works." The internet is fast, the infrastructure is solid, the healthcare is affordable, and the people are polite. You can live a high-quality life for a fraction of what it costs in Los Angeles or New York. For digital nomads, retirees, and remote workers, Malaysia feels like the dream life without the American price tag. And unlike many developing countries, it feels safe, clean, and organized. Americans love that combination of comfort and efficiency. Culturally, Malaysia fascinates Americans. The mix of Malay, Chinese, Indian, and indigenous influences creates something unique, a country that's multicultural but united. Americans are amazed that Malaysia's diversity works so well. They see mosques, temples, and churches standing close together, people celebrating different festivals, and everyone respecting each other. To many Americans, that kind of harmony feels rare and refreshing. It shows that diversity doesn't have to mean division. It can actually mean strength. Then there's the food. Americans can't stop talking about it. They call Malaysian food one of the best in the world. It's flavorful, affordable, and available everywhere. From street food stalls in Penang to modern cafes in Kuala Lumpur, Americans are amazed that you can eat like royalty for a few dollars. It's not just the taste, it's the culture around it, how food brings people together and reflects the country's identity. Another thing that impresses Americans is Malaysia's balance between modernity and nature. They love that you can go from skyscrapers to rainforests in a single day. They see Kuala Lumpur's skyline and then realize that untouched islands and jungles are just hours away. Malaysia feels like a place that has managed to modernize without destroying its natural beauty. In a world obsessed with overdevelopment, Malaysia's balance feels rare and admirable. Education and English proficiency also surprise Americans. They don't expect a Southeast Asian nation to be so comfortable with English, technology, and global culture. That makes Malaysia stand out as one of the easiest places for Westerners to adapt to. Many American universities now have exchange programs or partnerships with Malaysian institutions because of the country's high academic standards and international openness. Americans also respect Malaysia's leadership style. It doesn't make noise or chase attention. It just gets things done. In global meetings, Malaysia is seen as calm, moderate, and reasonable, a nation that wants cooperation, not confrontation. Americans admire that kind of diplomacy. It's the kind of attitude they wish more countries had, confident but humble. Tourism adds to the admiration. When Americans visit Malaysia, they see how well the country manages tourism without losing its local soul. From Langkawi's beaches to Sabah's islands and Penang's history, Malaysia gives visitors everything: adventure, culture, and comfort. Americans appreciate that the tourism feels authentic, not artificial. It feels like a real country, not a tourist theme park. Even Malaysia's urban development gets praise. Kuala Lumpur is modern and impressive, but not soulless. The public transport works. The roads are clean. The architecture blends tradition with modern design. Americans notice the small details, the greenery, the order, the effort to make life pleasant. It's everything they wish their own cities still focused on. Safety is another big factor. Americans are shocked by how peaceful Malaysia feels. They can walk at night, take public transport, and feel secure. For many of them, that's no longer normal back home. The low crime rate and respect for law give Malaysia a reputation as one of the safest countries in Asia. That alone makes it a dream destination for families, solo travelers, and expats. Healthcare gets constant praise too. Americans can't believe the quality of care they get for a fraction of what it costs in the US. Many expats say Malaysia's private hospitals feel more advanced and caring than what they're used to. The combination of affordability and professionalism makes healthcare one of the strongest points in Malaysia's global image. There's also admiration for Malaysia's direction. Americans see a country with a clear plan, Vision 2030, a focus on digital economy, renewable energy, and education reform. They see Malaysia preparing for the future instead of just surviving the present. That kind of long-term thinking stands out. While many countries are arguing about politics, Malaysia is building data centers, green industrial zones, and startup hubs. Americans respect that seriousness and focus. Social media has amplified the admiration. Every week, new videos from American travelers and influencers go viral praising Malaysia's cleanliness, friendliness, and beauty. They say Malaysia feels like Asia's best-kept secret, a country that's modern yet affordable, peaceful yet exciting. Many call it the most underrated country in the world. But maybe what Americans admire most is Malaysia's attitude. It doesn't brag. It doesn't need to. Malaysians just live their values, hospitality, respect, and pride in their work. Americans feel that energy when they visit. They feel welcomed, not judged. They feel like they're in a place that values peace over chaos and community over competition. In 2025, when Americans talk about Malaysia, they talk about hope. A country that found balance between growth and happiness. A place that proves you can modernize without losing culture. They see Malaysia as proof that progress can be calm, steady, and deeply human. That's why the praise keeps growing, because Malaysia represents something America itself is starting to miss. Stability, unity, and quiet strength. And that's the truth. In a world full of noise, Malaysia stands out by simply being good at what it does, building, welcoming, and growing without losing its soul. That's why Americans can't stop praising Malaysia in 2025.